Hey everyone, it's me Lucy, and today I am answering your questions because somehow over the Christmas holidays I managed to get to 5,000 subscribers. Slightly overwhelming. I don't really know how that happened. It was kind of like weird. I was like, oh my god. So thank you if you're a new subscriber. Thanks for and so many people went back and looked at old videos, and so many people wrote such nice comments and stuff, and I was like, oh thank you. It was really nice. And yeah, as I said, I'm quite overwhelmed by it all. But I thought, as any YouTuber does, when you hit a milestone, what to do? You have to do a Q&A, I suppose. And thank you for everyone who submitted a question. I thought I'd try out that posty thing in the YouTube thing. Seemed to work kind of well, although the questions were quite hard to get to, so I've ended up printing them out and cutting them up using a printer, for God's sakes. I hate printers, and it's all turned into a bit of a mess, and now I'm rapidly losing daylight. I have this teeny light, so the quality might be a little bit shabby, but I did really want to make the video, so let's get to it. So what I've decided to do is, out of the questions, I picked the ones that I thought I'd like to answer first and foremost. I was like, oh, there's some pretty good ones here, and then the rest of them I've put in this mysterious, the Mug of Fortune, I've called it, the Uncharted, is it Forgotten Liberty? The rest of the questions are in here, and I'll pick some of those out. Alright, so let's start with the first question I was asked. This is from Autistic Gamer. Let's pause. I've also decided to stick them in a book. This is all very badly planned. I was like, oh, I have this idea. And it's just, nothing's going as planned. So, look, I did print them out and I stuck them down. Autistic Gamer, 1991 says, what got you into PlayStation and trophy hunting? Well, PlayStation. I got my first PlayStation 1 when I was 9, I think. I keep meaning to ask my mum to go back and look at her diaries to see the exact, because I think it was 9, but it can't have been 10. It was very that sort of time-ish. And I think we got a PlayStation just because some kids at school, in my primary school, were like, PlayStation's really good, because at the time I had a Sega. So that's how that happened. And then the trophy hunting, well, the thing is, when I first got the PlayStation 3, it didn't come with trophies. There weren't such things. So at first I wasn't too fussed, because when they did put them in, I was like, oh, I can't earn them. Because I remember I'd already played Fallout 3, and so I'd missed all the beginning trophies to that. And I was just like, oh, that's annoying. And so I had a weird glitch on GTA 4 as well, where it wouldn't let me unlock any trophies. So at first I didn't care, but I think the great PSN outage is what really maybe lit the fire, because then what else was there to do? And the fact that I didn't have that many, my birthday was very close to Christmas, so I didn't get games very often, so I had to make them last. And so the thought of having these objectives that you could complete to make the game last longer really intrigued me. Jajanka Pearson? Oh yeah, I should have mentioned at the beginning of this video. Apologies in advance for any terrible pronunciations. I don't have commitment in my own knowledge to pronounce things correctly. I can't even pronounce most words, so I'm always like, letters, I don't know. So the question is, when you get a new game, do you try to get the trophy on your first playthrough or wait for a second playthrough? This is a good question, okay? Now, I'll buy a new game, okay? Now, first and foremost, I always buy a game because I want to play the game, alright? Or someone said that you'll like it or whatever. I don't buy games purely on the trophy list. So I'll get the game, I'll have a gander at the trophy list, alright? Won't look at hidden trophies, that's a big no-no. So I'll have a look to see what's going down, and from that I will decide whether all the trophies are possible in a first playthrough or not. Most of the time I'll try and get them as I'm going along, but if it's play the game on the hardest difficulty, I'm not going to do that on my first playthrough. I like a normal experience for the first game. I don't want to stress myself out trying to play the hardest difficulty first. Mr. Random Dude 42 says, do you have any trophies that you're ashamed of? I have no shame. I'd play Hannah Montana game if it were on PS4. And it's kind of the same as 07, who said, if you could remove a game from your trophy list, what would it be? Actually, they're not really the same at all, but they kind of are the same. So am I ashamed of any trophies? I don't think so, because like I said, I always try and play the games I want to play, with the exception maybe of Welcome Park and Paint Plus, or whatever it's called, those two Vita games. Maybe they don't need to be there. So I'm gonna say no on that, hard no, that I'm not ashamed of any of them, apart from those two perhaps, even though they're not really. And then if I was to remove, maybe I would remove one of those two. I don't think there's actually maybe I'd remove Modern Warfare 2, because I just played it because my brother got it, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a shot, people seem to like it. It wasn't really for me, and I'm never going to go and play it again, obviously, and it just sits on my trophy list at an E. And I'm just like, I did, however, have a terrible thing that happened to me, but thankfully it was all cleared up, where my PS3 broke the disk drive. It just stopped disk driving. I don't know, it wouldn't play any discs. I think that's the technical term. So I took it to the man to fix it, and the man down the high street. Firstly, the man said to me when I handed it in, "Aren't you a bit too old to be playing these things?" And I was like, what? It wasn't even like, it must have been 20 something at the time. Well, I'm still 20 something now, but it must have been like 22 or something. And I remember thinking like, but this is fun. So he takes my PS3, and when he brings it back, well, when I go and collect it, he's like, oh yeah, it's all working. So I come back home, and guess what I see? Oh, this riled me up, alright? So my trophies now had, was it Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I think? And I was like, oh, that's the game he put in to test. He did it on my profile of all things. I was fuming. I was livid. Obviously I didn't go back to the man and tell him this, but I was just like, I can't believe he's done this. But thankfully, it was all okay in the end, because they did eventually let you delete games that you had 0%. But for a while, that was on my list. All right, next up, I got a question from Ace Wildcat, who is a friend of mine. And by the way, he has a YouTube channel if you want to like check his stuff out. He plays a lot of FIFA. Sometimes I'm there providing commentary, playing FIFA. I'm not very good at FIFA, but, you know, they let me comment on the matches. I don't know anything about football. So if you'd like to check that out, the unofficial jingle, which I created for him, yet to be performed in any professional sense, is Ace Wildcat's Adventures, meow. So yeah, if you are so inclined, you can check that out. Okay, so his question was, what would your dream WrestleMania main event be, choosing any wrestler, past, present, and any stipulation? Okay, I had to think about this, and then I realised what it would be. It would have to be, because I think this match was meant to happen back in 2006, but unfortunately it didn't happen. So I would pick Shawn Michaels, who is my favourite wrestler of all time, versus Eddie Guerrero, who was also one of my favourites back in the day. But of course, I think that was supposed to be the WrestleMania match that was meant to happen instead of Shawn Michaels versus Mr. McMahon. And of course, unfortunately, Eddie died. But that was such a shame. About like, I mean, you can't really. Well, it's just really sad because Eddie was having a really interesting storyline at that time. He was like, he'd been a heel for quite a while, and he was having this thing with Batista, and I think he was meant to win the world title. Now, whether or not he would have been the champion in this match, because Shawn Michaels, sometimes he'd dabble in championship matches, but in this stage of his career, he kind of just sort of had really good matches. But I think those two would have had a really good match. And I think, as I drop some questions on the floor, that I don't think they needed a stipulation. They could have had a really just good wrestling match, and that could have been one of those ones where someone won the first match, and then they had the next match, then they had the rubber match, which could have then gone on to things. But yeah, I would like to see a nice one-on-one match between the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and Latino Heat, Eddie Guerrero. The detective, as he wishes to be called, asks, would you rather have pizza for all your meals for a whole year, or would you eat no pizza at all for a whole year? Okay, that's a tough question, because I do eat pizza at least once a week. I love me some pizza. But I've decided I would go for the no pizza for a whole year. However tough that would be, it would be probably good for my health. And then can you imagine when you get that pizza in the next year? How sweet will that taste? Oh my God, I think that would be worth it. Just the waiting and knowing, God, January 1st, order that pizza straight away. Catherine asks, what's your story? What's the story behind your gamertag? So again, this is also related to wrestling, sort of. So when we first got the PS3, me and my brother, we weren't too sure if you could have two separate profiles. So there was a little bit of a discussion going on between us, like, well, we'd have to pick a name that we were both happy with. So we went through a couple of things. Almost named ourselves Firebox something or other. I'm glad we didn't go down that route. And then we were like, tried to think of a wrestler that we both really liked. And at the time, Jeff Hardy was in a big feud and stuff that year. I think because it was 2008, so he'd had a big feud at the beginning of the year. Not sure what he was doing at the end of the year. Or was he just having... I don't know. So basically, we named it Legend Thriller 5 because Jeff Hardy had been called that year the Legend Thriller. Now, popular misconception, I am not the legend. I thrill the legends, much like Jeff Hardy. That's where it came from. I don't see myself as the legend. It's a little bit corny, the name, but I wouldn't change it because some people ask, like, would you change your PSN? No, never. If you could have a platinum in real life, what material would you think it would be made out of? And how are you doing? I'm doing good, thanks. Although it's getting very dark. I quite enjoyed this, actually. I was thinking about this. I think it would have to be... You have to have some platinum in there somewhere. So I would say that the ball bit was made of glass, and then the bits around the outside would be that nice platinum-y thing. And it would probably be about this big, perhaps. I don't think it needs to be massive. You know, you don't need a trophy that you can just stick your face on or something. Just a nice little... Something I can just... Oh, and maybe I'll do the Raphael... bite, the trophy bite. I'd like to be able to do that. Ethan Fairbrother asks, who would win in a fight? Who do you think would win in a fight? Nate and Elena or Joel and Ellie? Also, would you like a Last of Us Uncharted crossover? Okay, I think if a fight was going down, I think I'd have to put my money on Joel and Ellie, just because. I mean, Nate and Elena, they can hold their own, definitely, but they're not fighting off hordes of infected creatures and really, really evil people. I mean, most of the people that they're fighting are just soldiers. They're just doing their job. But the Joel and Ellie, they need to survive. Okay, they've got the will to survive, and they throw bricks and they do heinous crimes in order to survive. So I think it has to be them. R Raw 1993 says, what's your opinion on those typical easy platinums that in many cases are cash grabs, overall petty crappy games, but also a gold mine for trophy hunters? I think they serve their purpose. I'm not really like, I don't ever buy them because, again, I just always want to play a game because I want to play it, so I go for that over the trophies. But I can understand some people, they enjoy, for them the trophy hunt is about, like, you know, getting the numbers up as fast as possible, and I can totally get why that would be fun, so those little games help with that. But I think each to their own, as I said, like, whatever people want to play, go for it. I mean, it's however you find your fun at the end of the day, I guess. Okay, here we go. Here's two questions that I've stuck together because they were kind of similar. Okay, Carlos H asks, have you ever thought about collecting Xbox achievements? And then Simply J Trip says, is there any Xbox exclusive you would like to see come to PlayStation? So I think I'll answer those two together, so they're the two Xbox questions. So no, I've never really considered getting an Xbox or collecting achievements, just because I don't know what the point would be now. Like, I've made my empire, so to speak, of trophies on PlayStation. I would feel like, I think I would be more willing, actually, if I had an Xbox, to just play other games and not care. It would be nice to be free from the burden of trophies, to start a brand new life. Oh my god, it'd be like running away and being like someone completely different. That would be my Xbox life. But so no, I wouldn't see the point in that, you know, because then you've got two different things, and I'd rather keep them all together. Also, there's no platinum. That's what it's all about. And then, if there are any Xbox exclusives you'd like to see come to PlayStation, I mean, there's not. I don't really look into the Xbox news that much. I was very jealous of Cuphead, actually. I did really want to play Cuphead, and I did eventually on my PC, but it's not really the same. So I think I'd pick Cuphead perhaps as the exclusive I'd like. I'm trying to think if there's any others, but I don't think so. I don't think I've ever, other than Cuphead, looked and gone, oh, I wish I really had that game. There's a lot of Xbox games that are just Soldier Man, and I'm not into the old Soldier Man games, so nah. Right, the next question is friend of a friend. I quite like this question. What is your ideal home? Which is something I've never thought about until now. Okay, I think I'm definitely more of a city person than a countryside person, but I'd want the best of both worlds. So I think I would like a nice suburban sort of house so that you could get to work, because whatever I'm going to do is probably, I will need to, well, actually it depends, but I would like to be close, like, to transport and stuff so I could get places. And then you don't want it to be like city. You still want to have some sort of, like, you know, outsidiness. You want a garden. Definitely want a garden. And then my actual house is going to be like, you know how some people have a man cave? My whole house is going to be a man cave. Oh my god. So there's going to be just geeky stuff everywhere, I think. I hope. Unless I have to have the man cave. Never thought about that. I've always just thought, the whole house will be my domain. I would like, you know how Nate and Elena's house, they've got really nice things. Oh my god, I've just had an idea. Right. You know how Nate and Elena's house, they have, when you walk down the stairs, they've got pictures of all the adventures going down the stairs. Maybe I would do that, but with, like, gaming. Oh my god, favourite gaming locations. And people might look at it and be like, wow, where's this? And I won't tell them it's from a game. I'll just be like, oh, this is the island of Libertalia. And it'll just be a nice screenshot from the game. And it'll be like, yeah, I went there one time and it was really great. I wonder how many people I could fool with that. That would be quite fun. So that's what I want. I want a staircase with framed pictures of favourite locations from video games. This is going to be the geekiest house ever. Alright, so there's light now. It is the next day. I thought I could get away with this tiny little light that I had up here and the closing darkness, thinking I could answer all the questions before it got too dark. What I forgot is that I'm a rambler. So it was probably never going to happen. So I've come back today. I was going to re-record some of the questions I answered, but I've just decided it's probably best to leave them in the way it was, because I feel like it's more, that was a genuine first answer, and if I tried to re-answer them, it would probably come off as a bit like, meh, bit weird, trying to repeat myself sort of thing. So I hope the quality's not too awful, but now I'm going to try and get through some of these a little snappier. I don't want to make this video forever. The next question is from Skip to the End. Hi Lucy, have you ever thought about doing a Tales of the Platinum style series where you talk about individual games in depth you've gotten a platinum for? I don't know actually. I'm not sure. Would people be interested in that? I mean, I feel like I've talked about a lot of them many times, and I don't know, I guess perhaps I do have some other ideas in mind of things that I might do, but I just want to make sure that I do them in my own way. I don't want to be like, I want to try and find an original way of doing stuff, because obviously there's loads of trophy channels out there and stuff like that, and I don't want this to be solely about trophies, but I know that it is something I am passionate about, clearly, for some unknown reason. I'm just addicted, so I shall think about it. Okay, Ryan Taylor asks, the quality of your videos has gone up over the last year, smiley face. Well, thank you, apart from what you just saw 5 minutes ago, perhaps. What are you using to make videos, and what keeps you coming back to make more? This is where I have to talk about equipment. This is interesting. So, what I decided a long time ago, rather than going like all out and buying like everything, I was like, okay, it's probably more sensible to buy things in stages. So first I bought this camera before I just used my phone. So I've got a Canon SX720HS. I've just read that off the camera. It's alright. I would probably be better if I had one with the little flip thing up so you could see yourself back, because at the moment I just sort of hope and pray that it's okay. I recently got a new mic. This is the Snowball, and it's got like a little nice pop filter and a nice mic stand I got recently. Works very well. This little light up here that I sometimes use with not very good effect. And then I just have my laptop. This is an ASUS something like that. Apparently it's quite good, which I didn't realise when I bought it. I mean, I say quite good, it's alright. And then I edit things on Premiere Pro, because that's what I like to do. So what makes me come back for more? Well, the thing is, the reason I started making the videos is because I just really enjoy editing, and I like thinking of the ideas and like cutting together edits, because some of my really old videos was just me like learning, well, not really learning, but I just really enjoyed like matching clips and music and stuff. And then it came to a point where I wanted to do stuff about games, and I was like, I'm gonna have to be in some of these videos if I want to make videos, because I needed someone to talk, so it had to be me. That was with the guides, and then it slowly sort of turned into me. I don't really know how that happened. So what makes me come back? Well, I guess it's the editing, and I don't really know. It's a weird complex having a YouTube channel. I'm still not quite sure what I'm doing. It's very weird. So I hope that answers the question. Next up, the question that I had to answer. The Evil Doctor. Who's your favourite Doctor? Allons-y is, of course, Mr. David Tennant. But very close second is Matt Smith. Like, David Tennant is like here, and Matt Smith is like here. Like, sometimes when I watch a Matt Smith episode, I'm like, oh, Matt Smith, he's such a good Doctor. But then I watch David Tennant episode, and I'm like, so the best is when they're together. The 10th Doctor and the 11th Doctor in Day of the Doctor. That is my favourite Doctor is them two together. But it's David Tennant then, Matt Smith. Lumbago asks, what's your favourite music band and what's your favourite movie? I thought this was quite an interesting question, actually. Now, favourite band, I listen to quite obscure music, really. So I'm going to say my favourite band is Zebrahead. I don't know how many people might have heard of them, but I've been listening to them for a long time. And the reason I heard about them was because on SmackDown vs. Raw 2004, they were on the soundtrack. And that is how I discovered them. Video games brought me music, so they are my favourite band. Second favourite band is actually Fozzy, which is Chris Jericho's band. Basically, I like a lot of bands, rock music, mainly Americans, like Shinedown, Rise Against, stuff like that. Favourite movie. Now, my favourite movie of all time is The Lion King, which I saw. That was the first movie I ever saw in the cinema. But then someone did point out to me one time, he was like, so Lucy, you're saying the pinnacle of cinema, you saw it when you were 4 years old and that's it. Okay, so like, I mean, I guess that is a fair point. So my other favourite movie, so that's my favourite Disney film. I do like Monsters Inc. a lot. My other favourite film, I'm going to go with Hot Fuzz, because I do really love that film. My friend introduced it to me, and I was like, what is this? But it's really funny, and that's my favourite of the, was it the Cornetto trilogy? That's my favourite film, my favourite of those three. So, yeah. Now we are moving on to the mystery mug of questions. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to pick a few of these from here, because I'm just trying to think about how long I've talked for. It's probably been a good 20 minutes already. So alright, let's see what happens. Let's pick a few from here. The Uncharted Fortune Seekers questions. Alright, I've got this. Rydog asks, do you think the Uncharted series is done? If not, what direction do you think it will go? I enjoyed The Lost Legacy more than I thought it would. Yeah, The Lost Legacy was pretty good. Do I think the Uncharted series is done? I'm going to say yes for now. I do think they're going to go on a hiatus, and maybe they'll come back because there's so many characters that I'm sure, you know, when we need something, it's like, I'm sure like there might be a time where they're like, we need Naughty Dog, we need you to make something. Can you please make Uncharted? Because obviously it brings in the money, doesn't it? People love Uncharted. But then Naughty Dog are such a big studio that they probably can turn around and say, no, we want to make our own things, which I respect. So I think Nathan Drake's story is 100% done. But I would, like I said earlier, I would like to see some kind of... It's so sad for it to be over. I would like to see more. Oh, James Sturs asks, how was your holiday break? Depending on when this video came out, this might have been a long time ago. It was very good, thank you. Played a lot of Persona 5, managed to get to the 5th Palace, beat the 5th Palace. Did Red Dead Online, and just relaxed really, which was quite good. So thanks. Siamese Cat Productions asks, when your channel gets huge, will you still interact with your fans? Well, that's very kind of you to think that my channel will get huge. I don't really know what's going on. It's so weird. But I do, like, I will definitely, if it ever happens, I will try my hardest to keep still replying to comments. Because that's my favourite thing about it is, like, getting other people's opinions and reading other people's thoughts. So that's one of the things that I like. So I will definitely try my hardest to keep up. The comments... You guys, you're not letting me down on the comments front. They are coming in thick and fast. So I do like to block aside some time in, like, maybe at the weekend where I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit and I'm going to look through the comments. So that's what I try and aim to do. So it might take me a little longer to get back to you, but I will try. Lafton asks, what is the one thing you don't like about trophy hunting? Maybe some bad habits you inherit when you started trophy hunting. Okay, what I don't like about trophy hunting is the fact that I feel like I can't play anything if there's not trophies in it. Like, people always say to me, like, oh, you're going to get a Switch or whatever. And I'm just like, if I got a Switch, that's time I'm not earning trophies. I know that's a terrible, terrible thing. But I feel like now I can't play a game unless there is trophies because it seems to me like a redundant activity, which is bad. I know. So that, I mean, I would like to get a Switch at some point. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Now I've decided and I've gone back on myself. So yeah, I think that's one of the ones that it would be nice to be let free from the burden and not feel like I have to play things just for trophies. But now it's just in my mind. If there's any other bad habits, is maybe not trying new games because of trophies. Sometimes, like I said in my my big long trophy collection video, but I really didn't want to play Hidden Agenda on my profile because I knew I wouldn't be able to get the platinum in it and I wasn't going to, and I just like, oh, I don't want this. But then I was like, no, Lucy, you've got to do it. I'm having that struggle with another game as well at the moment where I'm like, I do want to play it, but I don't want to play it on my profile, and I'm not going to make another profile because that's too far. So it's an inner turmoil. So that's what I don't like. Soviet Gamer asks, hey Lucy, oh, well, thank you. I'd like to ask you what games you are looking forward to playing next year and what is your favourite Uncharted moment ever? PS keeps smiling. Oh, and all the best. Oh, that's very sweet. Thanks. Favourite Uncharted moment ever. So I feel like I've answered what I'm going to play next year in the wrap-up video. So I'm going to answer my favourite Uncharted moment ever. Wow, that is tough. I do really like the ending of Uncharted 4 because I felt like that was like the accumulation. I don't know if that's the correct word. The culmination, maybe that's the word, of all my Uncharted feelings wrapped up into a lovely, neat sort of bow ending that I couldn't have asked for better. But, okay, it's probably going to be something from Uncharted 2, I imagine. Oh, wait. It's the ending of Uncharted 2, of course. It's the final cutscene of Uncharted 2. That is my favourite Uncharted moment ever because it's just so good. Like, when you get to that ending, I'm just always like, oh, I love this cutscene so much. It's so happy and it's funny and it's just like, oh, it's the best ending ever. So I think we're going to go for that. All right, I think I'm going to make this one the last one. Let's make it a good one. Okay, one is attached to my finger, but I've gone for this one. Favourite video game character of all time? Nathan Drake. It's gotta be. You probably knew that. If I had to pick a second favourite character of all time, that's where things get tough. I mean, I do like Sonic and Crash, but I feel like they are good characters. But I'm going to think of someone else now. Someone else who's like a person character, a human being per se. I think I'm going to go for John Marsden because I love him. He's just a nice guy. But then I don't know what he's like in Red Dead Redemption 2. Could have gone for Ellie. I do like Ellie a lot, but I think I'm going to go John Marsden because I really like John Marsden. He just seems like a nice guy, like I just said. And I really like, oh man, the end of Red Dead Redemption, the first one. It's not too spoilery, but you just get to live a happy life for a bit. And I just was like, oh, John the family man. So yeah, I'm going for Nathan Drake and John Marsden. And then maybe I'll kick myself later when I think of someone else.
Yeah.
So that's about all the time I have to answer the questions today without making this video go on forever and ever, because I can talk forever and ever. So thank you for submitting your question. I'm really sorry if I couldn't get to it, but perhaps I may have answered it in my previous Q&A, or I might have answered it a billion times in one of my other videos, because some of them I feel like the questions were, what platinum did you earn first or something. You can just see that in my trophy logbook or something. I don't want to say the same things over and over again. It's really hard to keep track of what you've already said, I've discovered, because I just talk and then it's like, have I said this before? I don't know. So I'm sorry if I bored you and said a few things that I've already said before. But if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. And if you still want your question asked, you can always just hit me up on Twitter or write a comment in this video, and I will try and get back to you the best I can. So until the next video, whatever that is, I've yet to decide, I shall see you all next time.